Hello, hello, and we are here to recap yesterday's UFC event from Fight Island, UFC 254. That is, this is the last event from Fight Island for now. Dana White said he doesn't know quite sure where they're going next, when they're leaving the U.S. next. Everything's kind of up in the air. He's taking a little mini break, so we'll see what happens. But for now, this was the last event from Fight Island, and was it a great event? So much so I could barely get it out. So. It happened yesterday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So a lot of folks actually missed it live and had to wait and watch it later. So I hope you have seen it. Let's go ahead and get into it. 6 fights on the main card. I made 6 picks and I got 4 out of 6. So good night for me. The fights were amazing. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now for the second time we're seeing this fight. First up on the card, I got this pick. I chose Nurmagomedov to beat Ion Cutelaba, and boy did he. He put to rest all that who really should have won because the ref made a clear mistake. He said bump all that. First round. Let's get into it. So they're going back and forth. Cutelaba was following him. Instead of cutting him off, instead of walking him down, he was following him. And this got Magomed comfortable. And midway through the round, he actually dropped him with a straight left hand. It was real quick. Dropped him on his butt and he popped back up. They're going back and forth again. Then it was a 2-piece, right? Then a left. Dropped him again. This time stunned him even more. Actually, I think he hadn't really fully recovered from the first time he was dropped. So dropped him again. Gets on top. Hammer fist, shots to the head through the guard, knocks Cutelaba all the way out. Sleep. First fight of the night. Great way to open the card. No more confusion about whether the ref made a mistake. He definitely won this fight. He's already ranked 11 in the 205 division. Who would you like to see Magomed Ankilov fight next? Next up, I might be going out of order, so forgive me for this. Got this pick right as well. I chose Lauren Murphy to beat Lilia Shakarova, and she did. She won this fight. Actually, it was a good-looking victory for her. The first round, they were filling each other out. What I liked about the flyweight division, I've been so excited for this women's flyweight division to finally start to manifest and actually come together. We were getting some names coming up from the 115 and down from the 135, putting on good fights, and this was another good one. You could hear the punches from both of these ladies, and that's what I was like, oh, these ladies are hitting each other real hard. Shakarova, she was trying to get something going. She kind of didn't really respect Lauren, and Lauren, she was being a little bit hesitant. So that first round could have went either way. I'd have to look at the stats, the paperwork to see on that one. In between rounds, Lauren's curfew. Lauren's corner told her to move forward, get aggressive, and that's what she did. She came after Lilia and had her fighting off her back foot. She tried to come forward a little bit, but then they actually got tied up in a clinch. Lauren actually had the underhooks, but Shakarova kind of had those low overhooks, so they're kind of wrapped up, and Lauren really just muscled her to the ground. She was just like, I'm stronger than you. Really no technique. Muscled her to the ground, tried to mount some ground and pound. Lilia tried to escape the position. Eventually, she ended up giving her up her back. Lauren snatched up that neck, fully sunk in, rear naked choke. Tap, tap, tap. Good, strong victory for Lauren Murphy. And I liked her promo afterwards where she's starting to lobby for that next title shot. And she's right. She's like, I've got 4 wins in this division against ranked opponents. This is a division that's coming together. So especially if Valentina gets past Jennifer, because Jennifer is a legitimate threat. This fight's actually happening next month. So if Valentina does get past Jennifer, why not have Lauren be next? So that was good for you. Start barking like you did. I like the way you made your case. Work that social media. Show up to the next few events, especially the Valentina fight. Show up to that fight, make your presence known, and lobby, get yourself that next title shot, especially if she wins. Now, if she loses, Val will get an immediate title rematch, I'm sure. So, but if she wins, get yourself that next title shot. I actually do think you have deserved it, especially in a division that is developing. Now, next up, I got this pick as well. I chose Philip Haas to beat, about to call him Logan, Jacob McClown. He beat him in the first round. Ooh-wee. Now, I knew a little bit more about Philip because he's been on the Contender Series more than once. I didn't really know much about Jacob, so that's why I picked Philip. I'm so glad I did. This ended in the first round. Honey, this man is powerful, and he is quick, and he actually has a wrestling base, but he didn't need to use any of it. This ended in what, like a minute? Less than a minute. Clipped him with was it a right? A quick ass right? He got back. Oh, he clipped him against the fence. It was a right hand that like kind of skimmed the temple, but it was enough to kind of daze him. It actually kind of had him dazed and kind of bent him over a little bit. And then he landed like a 3-piece, but it was those last 2 pieces that landed. It was loud. It was blap, blap, knocked him all the way out. sleep. Great win for him. Debuting in the UFC, like I said, he's been on the Contender. That's technically amateur. So debuting in the UFC, great win for him. He has kind of an awkward personality. I would say lean into that. You're kind of funny without trying to be. And not funny, we're laughing at you, but funny like you're kind of funny without trying to be. So lean into your awkwardness. And who would you like to see Philip Haas fight next? It's the middleweight division. Hard division. So next up, I did not get this pick. This is what I was kind of worried about this when I said if Walt Harris had more of a disadvantage with the length, that I would have went with Volkov. Should have went with Volkov anyway, because Alexander Volkov beat Walt Harris. He beat him in the second round, and I think Walt wasn't prepared for Alexander to come out as aggressive as he did. I think he came out like, let me meet force with force. I know Walt Harris is a downhill fighter. We're not going to give you a chance to gain that momentum. So he came at him, and I'm not sure Walt was prepared for it. He was kind of on the defense that whole first round, and towards the end of that first round, he landed a shot, stunned him a bit, got him against the cage, and I think Walt kind of was playing possum a little bit, tried to bait him in like he was hurt more than he was, and then he tried to land a two-piece and fought his way out of it towards the end of that first round. But that first round still went to Volkov. Second round, it ended fairly early in that second round, but it was a kick to like the liver, and you heard Walt scream out, "Ah!" It was painful. Dropped him a couple shots later. Fight was over. Great win for Alexander Volkov. Who would you like to see him fight next in a heavyweight division that is slowly but surely not as shallow as it used to be, right? So who would you like to see him fight next? Next up, co-main event, and I did not get I got this pick. That's my fourth. I got this pick. I chose Robert Whittaker to beat Jared Cannonier because we knew this was a very important fight. Next person would probably get Israel Adesanya. He did win this fight. He decisively won this fight, in my opinion, in the first round. I don't think that I think Jared didn't think that Robert would be as fast as he is, because he's very deceptively fast. Yeah, he bounces around, but that jab comes from the hip. You really can't see it coming. There's really no tell. He's got deceptive head movement in his angles, and he darts in and out. He's just quicker than he seems, and I'm not sure Jared was prepared for that. Jared had kind of low offensive output in that first round. It just seems like he was trying to wrap his head around how to hit Robert. So that first round could have went either way, because he did actually land some shots and all of that. That did happen. But the second round to me was clearly Robert Whittaker's round. That's where he got his footing. That's where he started landing combinations. He has this tricky little kick punch combination he likes to throw. He started to land that. Jared did a really good job in that first round. I think he could have stole it because he did a really good job with the leg kicks in that first round. In fact, I was like, Robert, you better check him. You better check him. So he did a really good job with those leg kicks in that first round. So again, that first round probably could have went either way, but the second round to me was more clearly in favor of Whittaker. Third round to me also went to Robert Whittaker. Now again, he was still more comfortable, and then he actually landed that punch kick combination that he had been trying to land cleanly throughout the entire fight. He landed him, got him down to the ground, mounted some nice ground and pound, some elbows. This was a very near finish for him. Jared Cannonier, who's super tough, managed to get out of it, managed to stand back up, managed to keep fighting, and then managed later on in the fight towards the end to stun Robert Whittaker with a punch of his own. And Robert Whittaker, this is his experience that really came through. You saw him look at the clock. There was only 15 seconds left. So Robert said, bump trying to fight you. Let me hug you up against this cage and not get knocked out, because I'm pretty sure I've done enough to win. And he was right. He won the fight, and I agree. Now, do you think he deserves a title shot after this? I mean, who else is there next to for him to fight? Because he was number one, Jared was number two. Okay, who do you think he should fight next? I think he should go ahead and get that title shot, because honestly, he looks better now than he did in that first fight against Israel Adesanya, coming off of that long layoff because he had that injury. He looks much better now. He looks like he's back into the thick of things. So I want to go ahead and see him get that title shot. But if you think differently, tell me who and why. Now, main event, and I did not get this pick, and I don't care. And still, the UFC lightweight champion, Mr. Khabib Nurmagomedov. He successfully defended his belt against Justin Gaethje, and yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about it. Oh, real quick, they really formally and just lengthy and just really laid out the red carpet for Michael Chandler, who of course is signed with the UFC and who was there as a replacement just in case someone couldn't make the weight or something for that main event there. So he's fully in the UFC. He was there, interviewed him. I'm super excited because I've been watching Bellator for a while too, so I know who Michael Chandler is. So yeah, thoughts on Michael Chandler, how they rolled that out for him. Who do you want him to fight first? Let me give me your thoughts on Michael Chandler finally in the UFC. Now let's go ahead and continue with this. So first round, I don't think that Gaethje was prepared for just how severe the pressure. My hands in a weird space. You can see the camera shaking. How severe the pressure of Khabib would be on the feet. Where we all know he smothers you on the ground, but on the feet, I think you kind of forget how much he can pressure you at the feet. And I think that's because Khabib knew, I'm not going to let you get comfortable. You're not getting comfortable. And then also we find out now that he broke his foot about 3 weeks ago. So I also think that part of him wanted to end the fight early, wanted to actually get this the victory. First fight, Khabib came out with kicks, came out with some nice punch combinations. He's definitely been working on his stand-up, but we all knew that. It showed. Like I said, he landed some nice kicks. He landed some nice shots, some jabs. He came forward the entire time, dictated the pace the entire time, had Justin Gaethje almost damn near running. He was, his stance was extremely low. Justin looked scared of the takedown. You got to be conscious of it, but you got to be able to work your offense. You can't be scared of it. He actually looked scared of it. The way he was sitting, the way he just reacted to every little thing. He was definitely on the defense the whole time. He looked like a cat, a cornered cat. It's kind of what it reminded me of, just frantic. And so I was like, slow down, calm down, work the leg kicks. And he started to work the little leg kicks there. And one of them was caught, but not taken down. And then he actually took him down towards the end of the round, went for a Kimura. And it was like, good thing it was the end of the round, saved by the bell. So in between the rounds, his corner told Whitman, was like, Justin, slow down, which is what I was thinking too. Like, oh my God, you are frantic. And so he went out there, he slowed down. It was a little bit better. He was working more kicks. He started to land more shots, a little two pieces here and there, was hitting them cleanly. But again, I don't think he was prepared for how just with the business Khabib was going to be. He was willing to eat some shots, you could tell. Because he didn't have all this crazy head movement and angles and nothing like that. He was just in his face. He's like, I know you're going to hit me. I got a good chin. Yeah, I just never been tested. Here we go. So he got hit a few times cleanly and all of that, but he managed to get in his face again, take him down again. And this time he had like 4 minutes. And I was like, oh, and Justin tried to get out of it. He was in a position where he was standing, but Khabib had him in a triangle. And then he tapped several times. Ref didn't see it. And then he sleep. Ref saw that. And still, great victory for Khabib. I mean, he just ruled Justin on the ground. And then, of course, he retired. As he said, he promised his mom that he would not fight without his father. And I had a feeling that his father passing away would speed up his retirement. Khabib had already been talking about retiring early anyway. I had a feeling. And he said he had promised this to his mom. So, yeah. And I believe him. Let me know if you believe him. Do you think that he'll take a couple of years off and come back? I'm not so sure. Khabib's the type of person that he doesn't come to these decisions lightly. He's probably mapped out the next 5 years of his life, 10 years of his life. You know, he's married and all of that. I do believe him. So, yeah. Thank you for everything. Pound for pound, 29-0. And let me be a brat for just 1 second, Khabib. Just 1 second. Let me be a brat. So you ain't never gonna fight Tony Ferguson? So you ain't never gonna fight Tony Ferguson? I was one of the people who never gave up hope. I was mad Tony accepted the fight against Justin Gaethje. I was kind of hoping Justin Gaethje would beat you. That way you would be forced to fight Tony. Okay, I'm done being a brat. A great fighter. Great legacy. People say he cried, just cried, outpour of emotion. People are like, he's so stoic. We finally see emotion. It's not stoic. His personality shines through his language barrier. He's actually quite funny. He's just one of those people who's not to be messed with. He's one of those people who he cracks a joke and you're not sure whether or not you're being tested. So you're like, should I laugh? Are you that's how he is. I don't think he's stoic at all. He actually has quite a full personality there. So yeah, thank you. Let me know how you did on all of your picks, any injury updates. It was a great event. Let me know what you think about Michael Chandler, all of that. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm on Snapchat. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care. Goodbye.